The private dining room on the top floor of the Glassmore Hotel was always silent. Not the peaceful kind of silence that soothed the soul, but the heavy, aching kind that wrapped itself around one man every single night. Ethan Hale, 30 years old, self-made millionaire, tech innovator, and one of the youngest CEOs in the city, sat alone at a table meant for 6. White linen, crystal glasses, a meal prepared by one of the most expensive chefs in the country. And not a single sound. Ethan had been deaf since the age of 8. An accident. Collapsing stage rig. A world that went quiet in a single moment. Since then, silence had become his constant companion. He didn't mind it anymore. Or at least that's what people assumed. In public he was confident, powerful, untouchable. But here in this room, when the staff cleared out and the doors closed, the loneliness crept in like a shadow he could never outrun. He lifted his fork, eating mechanically, eyes fixed on nothing. Across the room, near the wall, a woman quietly wiped down a side table. Her name was Lena. She was the night cleaning lady. Early 30s, worn shoes, gentle eyes that had seen too much struggle and still chosen kindness. She worked 3 jobs to survive. This one paid the best, even if it came with long hours and strict rules. No talking to guests. No children allowed. No exceptions. But tonight Lena had no choice. Her babysitter had cancelled at the last minute. And so, sitting just outside the dining room door on a folded coat, was her 4-year-old daughter. Righted. Curious about everything. Lena checked on her every few minutes, holding up a finger in warning. Maya nodded obediently each time, until she didn't. Maya peeked through the slightly open door. She saw the man sitting alone. Big table. Empty chairs. No phone. No company. She tilted her head. "Why is he sad?" she whispered. Lena stiffened. "Shoo, baby, stay here." Maya nodded again. But her little heart was already moving faster than her feet. She slipped into the room. Ethan noticed movement in his peripheral vision. He looked up. A tiny girl stood a few feet away from him, holding a small stuffed rabbit with one ear missing. Her lips moved. He frowned slightly, confused. Maya took a few small steps closer. She leaned forward and whispered very softly, "Can I eat with you?" Ethan didn't hear a word. But he saw her lips. And something inside him cracked. People usually shouted when they realized he was deaf. Overpronounced words. Treated him like he was broken. This child didn't. He just spoke gently. Ethan slowly set his fork down and signed carefully with his hands. "I can't hear you." Maya blinked. Then she smiled. She walked right up to the table, placed her tiny hand on his chest, and felt the steady rhythm beneath his shirt. She pressed her own hand to her chest. Then she tapped the table twice. Ethan's breath caught. She wasn't trying to speak anymore. She was communicating. Lena rushed in, panic flooding her face. "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." "She shouldn't. I'll take her right now." Ethan raised his hand. He signed slowly. "It's okay." Lena froze. Maya climbed onto the chair across from him without waiting for permission. She placed her rabbit on the table and carefully pushed one of the extra plates toward herself. Then, very deliberately, she placed her small hand over Ethan's again. She looked straight into his eyes and mouthed, "Not alone." Ethan felt something warm sting behind his eyes. No one had said or shown that to him in years. He nodded once. The chef, watching from the doorway, hesitated. Ethan gestured for another plate. That night, for the first time in a long time, Ethan didn't eat in silence. Maya didn't speak much. She didn't need to. She communicated with smiles, taps, exaggerated expressions, and the pure, unfiltered empathy only a child could possess. She showed him how the fork could march. How broccoli could be tiny trees. How dessert tasted better when shared. Lena stood awkwardly at the side, tears quietly slipping down her cheeks. After dinner, Ethan wrote on a notepad and slid it across the table. "Does she come with you often?" Lena shook her head. "Never. I broke the rules tonight." I understand if. Ethan shook his head gently. He wrote again. She gave me something tonight. I want to thank her. Maya leaned over and scribbled next to his words with a crayon she pulled from her pocket. A wobbly heart. Over the weeks that followed, Ethan started requesting dinner at the same time Lena cleaned. He always ordered an extra plate. Maya always sat with him. Ethan began learning basic child-friendly sign language just for her. Maya learned to sign friend, happy, and again. Lena tried to keep things professional, but life has a way of breaking walls softly. When Maya got sick, Ethan sent his personal doctor. When Lena struggled with rent, a mysterious building bonus appeared in her paycheck. One evening Maya didn't come. Ethan waited. The chair stayed empty. His chest felt tight. The next night, Lena arrived alone. Maya had been taken into temporary care after a workplace misunderstanding at another job. Lena was fighting to get her back. Ethan listened. And then he acted. He hired Lena full-time. Flexible hours. Benefits. Legal help. 2 weeks later, Maya ran into the dining room and wrapped her arms around Ethan's waist. She pressed her ear to his chest and giggled. "Still there," she whispered. Ethan knelt and hugged her tightly. Years later, guests at the Glass more often noticed something unusual. Powerful CEO who signed fluently. A woman who laughed easily now. And a little girl who proudly told everyone. He was alone. So I fixed it. Because sometimes, the unthinkable isn't loud. Sometimes it's a whisper meant not for the ears, but for the heart.